Chaotic.
All right. SoundCloud.com/chaotic flame, YouTube.com/@nothing-left-to-do-but-win. This is Keep It on Wax with your guy Chaotic Flame, and I'm here with my co-host Mike Morgan. Just unmute yourself whenever you're ready, brother. This is our first episode of the year, and it's going to be a very, very special episode. In fact, I'm going to send our featured artist a link to this so that he can promote within his group as well. 1 second, posting this for you guys. Up there it is. Already dropped it.
Oh yeah, I'm up. I'm bad.
All right. Mike Morgan is definitely in the building. First episode of 2025. Shout out to the viewership. Shout out to everybody. And all right, this is going to be a very special episode. We have an artist out of South Dakota. And without further ado, I'm gonna just bring him up. I'm gonna bring up Mr. Valentine. You just unmute yourself when you're ready to speak. Mr. Valentine, how are you doing, sir?
Welcome, sir.
I'm doing all right. Just life is lifing, and I'm living it.
All right. Good to have you here. I think that you're a very interesting person. There's so much that we have to talk about, and let's get into it. So the first question I want to ask you is, who is Mr. Valentine? For those who don't know, who's Mr. Valentine?
Well, in a more intrinsic way, I'm gonna say I'm an artist out of California. Even though it's on fire right now, I didn't do it. But
oh man.
So I'm an artist out of California. I've been making rap, hip hop, R&B, anything from that to like EDM ever since I want to say 2007. Straight out of high school, just messing around for the hoops and all that stuff. And then I didn't really take it serious until about 2018. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm starting to really like get good at this. You know how they say you spend 10,000 hours doing something, you become professional at it.
Yeah.
So, I'm still going through life, getting my, life regular stuff, but I'm really just the artist that's for the regular guy. It's not the glitz and the glamour and all that for me. You know what I mean? It's I need the world to know the perspective of that 9-to-5er, the average dude trying to grind. Got the wife, got kids. You know what I mean? So I want people to know the insight of what life like that is for different perspectives, because maybe that'll have an impact on somebody who's going through similar situations or, living a similar type of life and want to elevate and do better. It's a lot that I try to incorporate, my experiences with life. I let that out in my music or in my productions. Like when you hear a beat from me, even if it's just a beat, you gonna feel what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? So, or even if I say it, the way I say things and how I go about it in such a creative way to where it's almost like you're there in my shoes. So I guess to sum it all up, I'm the empathetical rapper.
Okay, I like that. Music that's relatable to a majority.
Yep, to a vast majority of people.
Understood. I noticed you said EDM in there as well, so we definitely gonna circle back to that. So you also said production. So what came first, the rapper or the producer?
I'm not even gonna lie to you, the producer came first.
Talk to me.
You know what I mean? So, okay, music has changed, beats have changed, no doubt. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
I started early on, like in the early 2000s. So I challenged myself to making out of the ordinary. It's cliche. Of course, I'm gonna make rap and hip hop. You know what I mean? So once I mastered that, tried to mimic like the beats that were already being put out. Beats like from the Saint Lunatics. You know what I mean? Like popping, and then let's see, Jaquan when he was popping. And then the 50 type beats. I tried to mimic those, and once I felt like I was comfortable and I could do that style, I ventured off into other ones. And everything starts off as a prototype. So like they weren't as good. And so I just kept trying to when people rolled their hi-hats for the first time.
Yeah.
I started messing around with that. And a lot of it is self-taught. I didn't go to school for none of this. I just kept going and trying until it sounded right. And I started making beats that I was like, I want to sell these beats. I want to get these to everybody. Then I was feeling my own beats too much, and I started rapping to it. And then I was like, wait a minute, that sounded pretty dope. So I remember it. Remember when the what is those phones? The
Sidekicks or
the Windows phone when that came out.
Okay, yeah.
I got me one of those, and I got this app that I could start. I could record my vocals to music that I put in my playlist. I started putting my beats in there, and I started recording off of them. And then slowly but surely, I started getting more and more into like, okay, how do I make it sound crispy like this? How do I make it sound like these guys? And so I just kept doing research, got equipment, saved up money. At the time, me and my wife was living in Tennessee. And it was about, I think it was like 2013, was it? Mm-hmm. 2013. I was in Tennessee. I started doing a bunch of research. I was working at a warehouse. And just every bit of money I had, I just saved up for a little small rinky-dink computer.
Yeah.
I still got the look. I still got the M Audio MIDI keyboard from
Yeah.
I hooked that bad boy up, had some standard little headphones, and just started messing around with stuff, making beats. Got me a little Radio Shack microphone. Started
okay.
And then, it was just like when YouTube started getting like really, really popular, like you could really learn stuff off of YouTube. I just started YouTube and shit on what an oscillator is, parametric EQ is, how to mix and master and stuff. And so like fast forward to now, I think my craft has perfected in the production realm. And so I see myself a stronger producer than I am an artist, but you can't really tell because I kind of balanced it out over the years doing it.
Understood. Now, if I could, because you said a lot there, I want to talk about those humble beginnings, brother. Because right now it looks like you're in the studio. Let me full screen your joint so the people can see. Yeah, it looks like the whole space is the studio.
It is. I turned the whole bottom floor of the house into a studio.
so check it out. You went from an M Audio keyboard, Radio Shack headphones. You stuck with your passion, and now look at where you at. But to go back to those humble beginnings, I did hear you mention the software. Did you say Fruity Loops?
Fruity Loops. It started with Fruity Loops 2.
Okay. And
that
did
came
you go?
Walk.
Okay.
And so let me give you some more background on that, like further back. It would make sense if I started this way. So my mother is a gospel singer.
Okay. All right.
And she was signed to a label, and I was really young, so I'm not even sure what label that was. But I remember always going to the studio, meeting up with saxophonists, drummers, all that. I remember the guy's name, Weldon, and his wife was my godmother. And so she started a studio in our house, my childhood home.
Yeah.
And so that's the environment I grew up around. Like it was always, I remember she had spent a lot of money on the board. My dad was supportive. He built a section of the living room into a little makeshift studio for her.
Hey.
I was the guy making the beats for my mom.
Nice.
That to start with there, and now like the humble beginnings, I was a regular kid, went to high school, getting into my trouble, you know what I mean? The streets, I chose the streets, so, and that was very brief.
Yeah.
And so, I want to say I was just so interested in music, anything that has to do with the music industry or entertainment. I was a street dancer, all of that, bro. And I want to say it was a humble beginning, but life did get kind of rocky.
Understood.
Especially when, the pressures of being a parent. I think I was like 23 when I first had my first son. So, the humble beginnings, then there was life.
Mm-hmm.
I moved way out of the state.
We're talking California at this point, right?
California to Tennessee, bro.
Okay, from Cali to Tennessee. All right.
And so it was almost like I didn't even really think about doing music. I was trying to just live life and take care of the family,
Okay.
But then, the troubles that I got into, whatever state I was in, it kind of pushed me closer and closer to being like, you know what? Let me just stop playing around and focus on this music. You know what I mean? Let me do something with myself, make something out of myself,
All right.
I really didn't even know what I was doing, I didn't go to school yet. I didn't get none of my degrees. So I was just freestyling, I was just winging it. But, I stopped. It was like, I can't do this professionally if I don't have nothing behind me. So I went to school for business. And
okay. So let me just slow down just a little bit. So you ended up going to school for business. Now, was that inspired from your musical inspiration?
Yes, because I believe that there's no way, like it's the music industry, but industry is a term that's used in business. So one could say, like, common sense told me that if I'm going to do this successfully, I need to be in business. So that's when I started pursuing my degree and getting all the knowledge that I can about the industry, the music industry, like the business side of it. Because I knew no matter what I did, no matter what I do or go through, music is always going to be in me because I was raised in it.
Understood. Yeah, like you said, your mother was a gospel singer, and that was like probably one of the first things that you saw that enticed you to music.
Exactly. Like the first thing I wanted to ever be was a drummer.
Oh, come on now. Absolutely. If I could, when I was young, my parents had me in a church for a brief moment, and the drummer, something always appealed to me. I thought the drummer was just so cool. Mm-hmm. So I had my little drum pad at the crib, pop, trying to figure it out, hold up. And we have another co-host who will be joining us soon to assist with the interview. Her name is Rashida Renee. She is prevalent on this platform, and she'll be up here soon. So don't be surprised when you see her pop up. But to get back on track, I want to talk about some of your other inspirations in the beginning as well. So what professional music artists did you hear that had music that resonated with you that led you to start creating music?
Oh, wow. There's a vast majority of them alive and not. Currently, right now, like the one that has the most impact on me is the late Nipsey Hussle.
Okay.
I really resonate with his message and what he was trying to do. And like I said, I'm trying to make music for the average dude to let them know you get the average person to let them know you could come from nothing and be something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it ain't even always got to be about the streets. Like it's moves you got to make, and if you're gonna do something, you might as well do it right. So
Absolutely.
I really like the marathon, Blue Laces. That impact so hard. Tears was coming out, bro.
Oh wow.
So
yeah, marathon, deep.
So like Nipsey is definitely one of them currently.
All right.
You know, I grew up in the early 2000s. I'm a 90s kid, so like, well, you got Lil Wayne. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Wayne, like we got to get,
of course,
because you know he really got me into the wordplay. Like his inspiration for me was the way he can flip a sentence, say the same sentence, and it means something totally different every time. You know?
Oh yeah. You know, it's so crazy you say that because I remember a bar you said the other day about the latex and the latex and the latex. Yeah, I was like, yo.
It was like back to back to back, and I'm like, wow, I need to learn how to do that. So I just like, I studied Wayne. Let's see, of course, 50 got that gully, like that's why when you hear some of my music, I'm like point blank to the point. That's because that's that 50. Like 50 don't really use any metaphors like that. He's just boom, direct. Like I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, and then this is this and this is that. You know?
Yeah, straight up.
So creative. It's kind of like, damn, that shit was rough. You know? And then Kendrick. Oh my god.
Come on. Yeah, come on. That's one of my
And, he's from the West Coast too. A lot of these cats is either from the East Coast or the West Coast. Wayne is pretty much like the only Wayne, and I want to say Gucci is the only ones like in the southern regions that I really follow. And Young Gotti.
Okay, Yo Gotti?
Yeah, Yo Gotti.
Okay, yeah. Oh, absolutely. All right, so we got into some of the inspirations. Now, for anyone out there who understands that they have to gain knowledge in the business area, but doesn't have knowledge of the business side of the music industry, what would you say are one of the first things that they should look to understand when trying to either create a record label, sign artists, or establish themselves in the industry? What is one of the first things you feel like is important to establish?
Well, okay, so it depends, because you gotta break those down into categories. You want to start a label, so you got to get to know what type of business you want to run. You want to do sole proprietorship, you want to do an LLC, S corp. You got to study the basics of business, and you're never gonna get it all. You're never gonna learn all of it. It's a continuous learning thing, because most businesses die within the first 2 years. I'm just gonna be 100%.
That's a fact.
I don't know if my business is going to be around in 2029. I don't know, but we work our asses off. That's where the grind comes in, and that's where the learning comes in. You got to always be learning. So when you establish what kind of business you want to be, you got to make sure you know how the music industry fits into whatever form of business you want to be. So, and then you got to have a plan. And your plan will change. So you want to start a label. Okay, you got to have artists. If you're not the artist yourself, you got to go out and try to find artists, which means you have your networking skills up, your business cards, all that. And with technology, it's even easier to network. It's ridiculously easy to network. I'm almost on autopilot all the time.
Yeah.
But there's certain ethics that come with it too, professional ethics. You can't just be an artist with your ego and all that and roll up to a fucking press conference or something and then be like, oh yeah, well, I'm little doodoo or something shit. And this wow. You got to follow the code of ethics. You got to follow the chain of command. Everything in this country runs on a chain of command. You got your upper management. You got your middle management, and you got your frontline manager. So you got to figure out you got to build a team. So who's going to be on your team if you're going to be the top guy?
Yeah, because you can't do everything.
No.
And that's something that I learned. You have to have a team.
And it's bad enough I'm producing my own stuff, mixing and mastering my own stuff, and I'm writing my own stuff. So it's like, okay, take this workload off because I got to do taxes. I got to do all this other stuff. I got to network with these people here. And so it's one thing to be an independent artist. But in the sea of all these independent artists, which ones are gonna stand out the most? The ones that got some kind of business behind, that know the industry, that know how to navigate, know who to talk to, know how to talk to these people, and what chapters to go through. It's all important to learn. So my advice to anybody, even if you're just trying to be an independent artist, you need to learn the music industry so you can learn things like PROs. You're going to be performing live, and if you go on tour, a lot of people will tell you that's where the money at. It is and it ain't. The streaming model is low-key dead, but that's because in the vast majority of all these people being an independent artist, they don't know how to navigate it. And to know how to navigate it, you have to learn the business.
You have to learn. So educating yourself will be pivotal. You know what I'm saying? It'll be crucial. So let me talk to you as a producer real quick, because I produce myself, man. Give me your top 5 producers. For me, it just switches up every other month. It just switches up.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It do. I don't know.
Or how about this? Name like 3 of your favorite producers. I think that's the easier question.
Mustard off top. You already know.
Yeah.
Mustard off top.
Okay, Mustard.
I mean, you know, I don't know. I fuck with a lot of them.
Yeah.
Oh, rest in peace, Mike Will.
Mike Will
made it. Yes.
Yeah.
And I gotta be at the top, so I'm the top one.
yeah. Come on now. Yeah, you got to.
Damn, there's a lot of them. I don't know. That's off the top. I can't think of no more right now. Lex
Luger.
He's like pioneer of all of this. Lex, like, bro, Mustard has Lex kits. I'm just gonna tell you straight up, like,
hey, I got one too. You heard?
I got Lex kits, man. I would have bought some joints.
Yes.
And it's start out one of my top favorite producers, JP Banks. I fucks with JP Banks, and I know him personally. Like, he's the only one that ever call me by my middle name. He's the only one that I'll allow. It's
understood. I have to look him up. All right.
JP Banks, man, that dude, he literally, as a producer, fits the objective, the mission statement. Like, he came from the same place I came from. Now he working with fucking Mozzie. He working with Glorilla. All of these top artists right now, because he learned the business, you know. And he started giving me advice about it, because I was signed to a previous label way back when, like in 2012, Lifestyle Entertainment, but they no longer exist.
Understood.
So, but everything was out of order. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't even have distribution set up back then. So that's another thing that motivated me. You know, let me see if I could do this myself. You know. But as far as producers go, I think those names I just listed, those are producers that I have in my mind a lot more often than not.
Okay, understood. Mike Morgan, you got anything you want to ask at the moment before we get into some of this music?
Yeah, coming from California and then going to South Dakota, what's the biggest difference that you noticed about the music scene between the two?
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's things I could say, but I gotta word this correctly, because it's really countryside living out here. It's the Midwest, you know what I mean? So it's a different culture, a different vibe, and they got it out here. They got it. It's just like I said, a lot like the majority of these cats don't know the business, and you know, they just see and hear. I'm going to be honest with you, South Dakota's really late on a lot of things.
Well worded, by the way. Safe word. That's a safe word. Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I feel like me coming out here, I'm contributing to getting them up to speed. You know what I mean? So that's why it's like, it's really easy to get shows out here. And for example, most of these cats don't even know what a PRO even is. You know, and if you're gonna be independent, that's one thing you want to have. You want to have your publishing good. You want to be able to jump on stage and not do karaoke. You're actually getting paid for this, because a lot of people don't know.
Ooh, that's heavy.
So that's
fucking heavy.
You got your PROs in order. You could do the same song you put out 5 years ago. There's 8 billion people on the planet. All of them didn't hear it just because you put it on the internet. So You jumping on stage, you performing your song that you made 8 years ago. You know the words, you all that. When you get off stage, your network. Now, when you got your PROs in order, not only did you get paid for it, the venue you performed at, I don't give a damn if it's a bar, they got paid too.
Wow.
So long as they're licensed to do that, because a lot of these places will just, on the tax write-off, on the paperwork, chalk it off as karaoke.
Wow, bro, that's yo, Mike. We need a bar with that. That has to be a bar. Y'all niggas doing karaoke. Y'all niggas out here doing karaoke. Shout out to Rashida Renee in the building with the Biggie Smalls is the illest and the realest.
And that's what happens a lot of times out here with these guys. They're on there, and it's their original song. You know, they bought the beat or whatever, because a lot of these guys don't produce. So they bought the beat. Cool. And they're performing it. The crowd is so different out here. Like, a lot of the crowd studies you. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. They study. They're not gonna be up there, woo, 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 unless there's mass promotion going on, or you know how to operate the crowd. That's what I do. I operate the crowd. I will get you to stand up and come to the stage. You know, but like their stage presence is off, you know, and then it doesn't even seem like a show. It just seems like karaoke, and that's what the owners of the venues write it off as.
That is so heavy, and you know that's one of the reasons why I wanted to converse with you, because not only are you an artist who raps and writes music and produces music, knows the business aspect, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's certain things that I know that you understand about it, being that you are in a place, you're in South Dakota, you're in the Midwest. We've never had someone from the Midwest come up on the panel. So it's always good to get perspective on someone who's traveled as much as you did. Well,
and then here's the thing. This is unprospected territory. When the last time you seen somebody from South Dakota walk the red carpet?
Chaotic. Chaotic, man. Yeah, damn.
I'm prospected, man. So I fancy myself a prospector out here.
Wow.
You know.
All right. So this is hey Rashida, how you doing, Rashida? You good? You could unmute yourself.
I'm doing okay.
Hey.
I've been watching for a little bit, and I just have a question.
Yes.
How did, because you said you took the time and you learned the business. How did you find the time to learn the business, produce, write, and perform? Like, how do you find the time to do all of that?
Mind you, with a wife and 4 kids.
Wow.
It's the grind. I love the grind. You gotta have a psychotic love for this grind. You know, I'm talking like, I don't give a damn if I'm hungover. I'm coming down here to the studio. I'm gonna play one of these beats, or I'm gonna sit here, and it only takes a few hours, work on a beat, or touch up a song here and there, research some stuff. Sometimes I gotta go back to my old college books and be like, let me see. Management, let's see, networking. Okay, and then I just research. You know, and then honestly, I don't even. That's why I chose South Dakota, because it's easier. Because I don't have to go out to get the shows. The shows come to me. You know, I got 2 so far since January started offered to me, and then sync licensing opportunities. And I just woke up and went to work. You know, you got to maintain a 9-to-5 job, though. I'm not going to sit here.
Yep.
I ain't gonna sit here.
Thank you.
Like, you gotta have the 9-to-5. That's why they say don't quit your day job. Like, and I had from every industry 9-to-5 jobs, from being in the kitchen cooking to being a framer. I'm a framer by trade, and that happened since I moved out here. Let's see, everything. You know, I'm working at a grocery store right now, so anything to keep constant money flowing in.
But you know what? That's something that we spoke about before. I hear a lot of people say, you know, after 50% or I'm just like, well, how do you identify if you are?
Hold on, you're in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Who's in the Matrix for a second?
Hold up, Rashida's in the Matrix, man. We're gonna get her back out in a second. Sorry, Rashida, we couldn't hear you. Bringing you back up now. Yo. All right, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Sheeta?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes.
So what I was saying was, I hear a lot of people say they got to give 100% of themselves to their art, but don't want to work a 9 to 5. And I'm just like, well, how you going to fund it?
How you going to fund
Yeah.
it? And then, check this out. Like,
That doesn't make sense to me.
It doesn't, but here's a way to make it make sense. How many of these guys care about their credit?
Ooh.
I mean, how many of them know what an EIN number is? You know, and then that goes into spending habits, budgeting. You know what I mean? I had to learn the hard way, especially with 4 kids.
Mother of 4, I understand.
It's like you got a budget, you gotta know finances, and that's in college. That's what they taught me, finances. You know, I had to build my credit up. My credit was horrible, but then I started a business, and now I don't even have to use my personal credit. I strengthening my business credit. That's where the EIN number comes in.
You know? Oh, that's that. Now that's what we call leverage.
That's what it's called. You need leverage to get the capital. You need capital, and so you know, a lot of these guys that don't want to give 100%, or do want to give 100%, but don't have the 9 to 5 job. They don't understand finance. They don't understand how much money it's going to cost for you to be out there like that. You know, and that's where a lot of these cats run into the fake streams. You know what I mean? Like that's how you get caught up in that area. And so that's why in a lot of my songs, I'm glad you played In My Way. A lot of these songs, especially Code, I start dropping knowledge like that. I try to hint it to them because there's a lot of people that really got it. You know, talent can only get you so far though. So what are you going to do to get yourself out there? That's part of the reason why my label is called Got Myself There, GMT.
Okay. All right. So look, the name of the track that I have up here is called In My Way. Before I play this song, is there anything you would like the people to know?
So this song is going to give you 2 different personalities of me. It's going to give you the street me back then. You know what I mean? And mind you, I did get into some trouble out here, so I was on intense probation when I made this. So I had nothing but time. That's where I found the time. Like I was on a set schedule. Go to work, come home, grocery shop, don't leave the house, come back to the house at 8 o'clock. So I'm like, okay, bet. Stayed at home, made these music, man. So
yeah.
In My Way is gonna let you know exactly what kind of artist you're dealing with. I'm just say that.
All right, and hey, Mike Morgan, being that you are an artist, you know, if you had anything you wanted to ask before we play this, feel free, brother.
I'm more concerned about the you talking about as far as like his career.
Yeah, I mean, like about just this song that we're about to play. I never heard it before. This is called In My Way by Mr. Valentine. We're about to just play this. Is
this off of a record or is this a single?
This is a single / off of a record.
Okay. And what's the name of the album for anybody that wants to go out there and check it out?
This one is off of wait. I think this was a mixtape one. In My Way. Is that this? Oh, this is the Fulfilled album.
And you got this, I would assume you got this on every streamer platform, Apple,
Amazon, Deezer,
all that.
Right, the crates, all of it.
All right, so when y'all hear this, if y'all want to run it back, you know exactly where to find it. You can probably go to YouTube, just type it in, and it should pop up.
And the way you spell Mr. Valentine is MI$TER Valentine.
All right. Without further ado, I'm gonna pull us down. Get yourself a beverage or something in the meantime, if you like. And here we go. This here is In My Way by Mr. Valentine. Just let me know if you can hear this.
Valentine.
Yeah, I hear it.
All right.
GMT Records exclusive.
I'm in a world where my kind most hated. People mind so jaded from spending years getting faded. That's why this dream worth chasing and ain't no time being wasted. Make a beeline of success, take persistence and patience. I've been grinding so much, niggas back home think I made it. On intense probation, so it's covert operations. Got me forwarding calls back to my registered agent. Said I'm getting to this money, that's my official statement. Niggas out here playing, they ain't been underrated. They ain't underestimated, they just trying to get famous. Ain't really with this grind, they just do this for clout. This rap shit ain't what they bout, they just be running their mouth. Need to upgrade your niche, that gang banging is out. In that legal life where it's at, how much your credit amount? You ain't broke cause investing, you ain't no entrepreneur. You gotta spend money that stay money that make you some more. You gotta save up your loot, can't be spending cause you bored. Quit splurging on these hoes and get shit you could afford. Yeah. That's how they keep niggas poor. You think, bro, you gon' stay broke and want shit that ain't yours. Slug, day in my way, day in my way, day in my way. I just thank God for every day. Laughing in my face, trying to ruin my day. That's okay. I just thank God for every day. Day in my way, day in my way, day in my way. I just thank God for every day. Laughing in my face, trying to ruin my day. But that's okay. I just thank God for every day.
It's always gonna be somebody that's hating on you. You know what I mean? Especially when you actually doing good and seizing those opportunities out there.
Mr. Valentine.
The only option I'm sliding on is opportunity. So I ain't out here tripping over shit that really got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to get this 40 acres in a mule back to my community. That's why I let me tax on a nigga for advice like it's a gratuity. Now the fuck you niggas figure I do this shit for a hobby. You ain't got this saying to stop me, you exposed, getting sloppy. You niggas giving me credit cause I said cuz after my punchline. Fuck you mean, I'm second gen. My blood loss, you niggas done made me bang on you. That's how niggas change on you. Get me out of character, fuck around and pull that thing on you. That's to get emotional, try not to project this pain on you. Dealing with life, that shit'll put a strain on you. Slug, day in my way, day in my way, day in my way. I just thank God for every day. Laughing in my face, trying to ruin my day. That's okay, I just thank God for every day. Day in my way, day in my way. Day in my way, I just thank God for every day. Laughing in my face, trying to ruin my day. But that's okay, I just thank God for every day.
All right.
Yo, you can't see me over here. I'm walking this shit on that motherfucker, yo.
Yeah, yo. Hey, Mr. Valentine is back in the building. That right there was In My Way. That was the official visual video by Mr. Valentine. My first question, first off, that shit is hard. That shit is
every day.
Hard, yo. That shit is hard. I want to know who produced that joint.
I myself did.
I figured that. I definitely hear the West Coast still alive and strong in your flow.
I wasn't even gonna come off like that on that beat because when I initially made it, what did I name it? I think I named it Maybach or something like that. Because it was like real smooth and like I initially imagined myself just cruising, in a Maybach, so I named it Maybach. But then, I was on intense probation. So, like for example, that second verse, that was surely like not off the top, but like rush notice because I just got out of court, and the judge, she straight up told me, "Well, you need to do your community service because you're behind 2 hours on it, and we don't have time for you to be doing something with your hobby." And I got really about that. Like, you called this shit a hobby?
Wow.
So I came home, 2 hours, and I was slacking. And I came home, and that's why that second verse, I was like, "Fuck you, man!" Like this shit for a hobby.
Yo, bro. That shit is fire, yo. I can't lie, bro. That's fire.
Somebody said that to you?
Yeah.
Like to your face?
The judge. I was on the stand and she told me that shit. So
yo, they do that. The judge will do that. If they know you make music, the shit out of her being in court by other artists in there.
I had
like when I'm just going with them, it's crazy.
I had to hold my tongue, bite my tongue until I got out of that court building, and I was like, "Hey, fuck that bitch. What the fuck she mean, hobby?" She was like, "Just go to the studio. Go to the studio. You on curfew, nigga. Go to the studio." I just let it all out there, and that's like the first verse. I was really trying to give people game on how to do this. Like, you need to have a way to fund your stuff. You need to spend money that's their money and make you some more. I'm talking about the banks, bro. Ain't nothing wrong with a loan. Just be responsible enough to pay back on your loan.
Yeah, man. All right, look, if I could, I know in the beginning you said that you started off producing on Fruity Loops. What do you use now to produce? Is it Logic?
Yep, Logic Pro X.
See, I could just
transitioned over.
Yeah.
I use a little bit of Logic, and then I use a little bit of Ableton Live. All
right, yeah, they integrate pretty well together. When I did own a Mac, Logic was so good, especially when you have the full package. It's such a great.
Not to nerd out or nothing like that, but it's Fruity Loops is user friendly, and they have a lot of stuff too. I think the last Fruity Loops I had was 12.
Yeah,
but like back then, it was only for PC.
Okay.
They just a couple years ago, Mac just got some rights to it or something. They did sign a deal. Now Apple can have Fruity Loops, but instead of that, I was like, you know what? Let me try Pro Tools out. Pro Tools. I had that at first, but I was still used to Fruity Loops. So I'm like, man, this shit ain't user friendly at all. But then I found Logic.
Yeah, Logic, man.
I found it with GarageBand at first.
Okay, GarageBand is great too. I like GarageBand.
Now Logic has GarageBand sounds and everything in it. It's fully integrated. But I learned through all the research I was doing that in order to have good sound quality music, I need the tools to do that, and Apple is the way to go. I mean, Apple's literally made for the music industry, So
yeah, it is.
Once I transitioned to Apple, I was like, well, I can't do Fruity Loops no more. Let me learn other programs, and here Logic was. And so after knowing certain things from Fruity Loops, it was easier for me to navigate Logic because, like, for example, like EQing and there's so much stuff. I can't think of anything off the top. But LFOs, how to make a sound wobble.
Yeah, I was gonna say phasers and different filters and different types of sounds. Yeah,
automations and stuff like so. Once I got the hardware figured out, the software was easier for me to operate.
Understood. And before I pass the mic over to my co-host, I just want to ask: have you ever heard of Reason as far as production?
Yes, Reason. I dabbled in Reasons for a little bit.
Okay, all right. Just wanted to know. If you guys have anything you'd like to ask, feel free. We are approaching that 45-minute to an hour mark that I usually like to hit. So, co-host, any questions for Brother Valentine here?
Yeah, I was just going to ask. Oh, go ahead, Rashida.
Because, I typically don't join this conversation because this ain't my lane. But I was watching, and what I really enjoyed the most is you talked about your work ethic and how much time and energy and effort you put into it. And when I listened to, well, at least that song, I could hear it. Because for me, the beat was nice and the whole thing was put together nicely. But for me, I look for lyrical content, and it's there. It's very much there. So I'm a fan. I'm a listen.
Thank you. I do got some R&B stuff. I got a bit of a voice. That's my mom's doing. We'll get into that in another episode.
Now, do you have is that on streaming platforms as well?
All out there. Spotify. I'm talking iTunes Music. Let's Amazon. It's on Pandora. I got kind of my own station on Pandora, and this is my YouTube right now. I don't have many subscribers. I was speaking with Chaotic earlier. I kind of neglected my YouTube, and as far as professionalism, I'm in the works of getting that up to speed. So,
hey, we are too, brother. And YouTube is a rough one to gain traction on that time. So I understand, brother.
So if y'all out there, please subscribe to Mr. Valentine. If you see what's going on the screen right now.
I'm about to do it now. So here's my last question, and I'm gonna get out the way of my business. Do you have other people working with you to build up your socials or to post your content, or do you just do this all yourself?
I started out doing it all myself, but I'm not quite at liberty to disclose all of it, but yes, I absolutely am working. I'll give you the name.
Okay.
Deeper Entertainment, which it's the Midwest sector of Universal Records. I'm on the verge of becoming a sub label to Universal Records and Empire. So we still got to hash out the details of the contracts. We got to
nice
and everything. So yes, I will be taking a lot of the workload off of me.
Yeah.
Here in the near future.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna pull myself down. I'm gonna keep watching. It was nice to meet you.
Nice
and I will be sure to subscribe.
Thank you. Much appreciated. You're a blessing.
Thank you, Rashida. Appreciate
Thank you,
Thanks
Rashida.
Thank you.
Shut up.
The Biggie Smalls is the Ellis and the Rillis. All right, yeah. So let me pull that back up. Actually, so yeah, guys, in the background we have the YouTube, and it's youtube.com/@official_Mr. Valentine as one word. And yeah, this is where you could keep up with Vic, some of his latest music. I believe that in the future he's going to be adding music back to this site as well, and he is on all streaming platforms at the moment. Recently, he dropped this joint right here. Here it is.
This was made last week.
Uh-huh.
Is this an instrumental?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't even hear it.
You got the volume on?
Yeah. Oh, y'all can hear it, but I can't hear it. Oh, there we go.
Woo! Let it breathe a little. Yeah.
That's just hard.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. I like how you use your noises there. You know what I'm saying? Like what you did there, you didn't stress too much on hi-hats. You didn't just kill them with the hi-hats.
Right.
Do that cowbell in there. That
everywhere.
Yeah.
And I still got more like variations I want to do. The most complicated thing I did was the bass. Like I made it growl a little bit.
Yeah.
I put bit crusher on it sometimes. Yeah. So when I put that bit crusher on there, my controller allows me to like take some of the crush and like intensify it, make it growl a little bit, and like come back down. That's when the LFOs come into play.
Yeah, man. Yo, production is such a beautiful thing because it allows you to see music. We can see it. Yes, we can see the music, brother.
I told someone very recently, like when you get to the point where you can read waves, you know you're producing.
So what would you consider your BPM sweet spot? Like for you yourself personally?
Perfect. So I'm from Cali, so you know it's between 86.
I was gonna say 95.
It's 86 when I'm doing my R&B because I'm R&B too.
Okay.
86 all the way to about 145, depending on the vibe of the instruments I'm using. You know, like 145 is like beyond my actual cutoff. My cutoff is 125.
Oh wow. Okay. I dabble around the 140s a lot just for trap. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
140 is like, okay, now I'm getting into my EDM.
Okay. All right. I like that.
Getting in my dubstep, you know. So it's like when I venture that far out, I call it going out in the outer space.
Wow.
You know
wow.
So my
because
is that margin. That's it right there.
Yeah, man, that's a wide range. Definitely looking forward to hearing more production from you. Like I said, we coming up on the hour mark. Is there anything that you want to tell the people?
Any and everything is possible. It's science. Life has a way of challenging you and telling you that you can't, but you and everyone else knows you can. They're not gonna say it, and you got to say it to yourself first before anybody else do. You got to tell yourself, I'm gonna make it. You got one life. Live it. Do whatever you want to do. Judgment's gonna come. People are gonna hate. You're not gonna be that great to somebody. But there's 8 billion people on the planet. You're gonna be great to way more than you think you are right now. All you gotta do is just start. Just do it. That's it. Chase your dreams, man.
Yeah, gotta start, gotta jump off the porch, gotta
I like when you said, like, you know, like so you think you can't do it, but you know, other people know you can do it, which is funny because whenever anybody gets there is, man, I knew you was going. I knew you was going.
Come on.
I knew you was going.
You ain't tell me that whole time. That's
not
crazy.
during the journey. You ain't tell me, but
crazy.
once we get to the destination, once we get to the destination, you want to tell me how much of a driver I am, huh?
Check this out. Like a lot of people tell me, "Hey, don't forget us, little guys. Don't forget us. Don't forget." That's not the hard part. The hard part is that is the hard part. Is forgetting. I'm gonna always remember everybody. That's the hard part about it. Whew, forgetting you. Because I'm gonna remember everybody who did support me. I remember everybody who did. I remember everybody who was just a bystander looking.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will either have their hand out or be like, no, you ain't never gonna do it because you know what makes a hater. They hate on you and say you can't do it because they can't do it. They don't think they can do it. And then you got those people where it's like they're on the fence. They're like, well, I'm not gonna have my hand out yet. I'm gonna wait till he make it. If he make it, I'll put my hand out. If he don't make it, I'm just gonna look for somebody else. Go the other way.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
You gotta be careful for hanger-ons, man. After a while, if a hanger-on can't hold themselves up, they're gonna hold you back.
Because you gotta be a part of the team. If you're gonna be around me, you're gonna stick with me since day one. Then you gotta be a part of the team. You gotta contribute to something. Entourage. I don't care if it's networking or whatever. It could be just the cheerleader on the sideline. You was there. You contribute. You was there from day one.
Yo, your hands work. You can sweep the studio, nigga. You know what I mean? Like if I come through the studio, you may not have like no technical skills, but have a glass of water for a nigga. You know what I mean? Like, this nigga look parched and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, do something.
Hit record for me. Like, yeah. Do something.
So you know what? Me and Kad had a conversation earlier because he was asking me. He was asking me like, how do I come up with certain topics or lyrics or whatever? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. I can't explain it to you. But it is like when you said it's a science, I'm like, yo, it is like a science because that's how I look at rap. The same way when I started producing, I brought like my methodical way of putting lyrics together into production. I want to ask you, how do you create a song? Is it do you write it down physically? Do you do it in your head? Do you come off the top and punch in? Or is it a combination of all three? Because you do have the studio in your house, so it's probably a lot easier for you to do the punching method than somebody else who's paying time.
So this is going to sound crazy. I don't ever write the song until after I record it.
Yo, didn't I just tell you that?
I don't know my lyrics by heart until after the song is done, mixed, mastered. Then I have to listen to it several times and be like, I did say that. And then I type it up, and I got to file that away. You know what I mean? I got to file it away because that's my macro data. So before I release the song, I got to make sure I got lyrics so people can sing along or I can know. So when I'm on stage performing, I don't trip over my words, So
do you do like 4-bar intervals, like you punch it, or do you like formulate it in your head, or you just like I'm a freestyle until I can't come up with something and stop, then go back and then think of some other word, like kind of like the Wayne method, like how Wayne was doing it.
Yeah, it's
or
like
do you do it like how Jay-Z was doing it?
Because there's different types of writers, right? I'm more of an editor. There's an editor, and then there's a writer. I will say something on the mic, let it ride here a couple times, like, no, I want to come off different. I don't even want to say that. And then I'll just delete it and then say something different, and then I'll have to listen to that little segment and then come up with the words as I go. I do that a lot for my R&B stuff too.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, you know what? I have to agree with it. I think when I started doing like writing R&B, it was easier for me to do it in my head initially,
right?
Than maybe writing rhymes because it's more flow based.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I took the same principle, it became more natural for me to write the lyrics in my head the same way when I started doing it with rap.
Because and the reason why it's like because I ran into an issue where I would sit there, listen to a beat, and write to it, but the way it sounds in my head is not the way my vocal cords is gonna do it.
Yeah, I understand. And that's why I don't even make music, because I struggle with that. I'll hear the beat, I'll have the flow, I'll start writing it down, and then I'll try to revisit it. And it's like, hell, how did I spit this? You know what I'm saying?
And that's the way I got out of that is by doing this method, just like not even bothering with the pen and pad until afterwards.
Okay. Wow.
Because what that does is it gets your ears used to how you sound. That's where a lot of artists like it's a confidence thing you gotta have. You're a human, you gotta have confidence in your craft. So, a lot of people will hear somebody else and go, oh, that sounds dope. I want to sound like him. And then they hear themselves and they're like, oh, well, I don't like my music because blah, blah, blah. I don't sound like this. But little do they know, like that person probably don't sound like that right when
in their head, yeah.
They don't sound like that in their head. So you got to get used to how you sound in your head. And the only way to do that for me was just to say it instead of write it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Write it afterwards because I know how I sound now, and now everything on the page makes total sense.
Yeah, and do a lot of your songs start with words or with sounds, or is it like a 50-50 thing?
Start with sounds. I'm just going to 100% start with sound because especially my R&B, I gotta feel it, So I'm deep. And if I feel that so passionately, I'm not even gonna sit on it. I'm just start recording just to at least have a rough draft of how
get that skeleton down. Yeah.
Just a rough draft, and I'll sleep on it. Sometimes, babe, I've stayed up till like 4 a.m. and she sleep. I'm over here like, no, let me get up. I need to go down to the studio and then get out of bed. And like, I need to say it like this, and then I'll do it real quick. I'll right back to bed.
Yeah. Do you rock with Google Drive?
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, I got to put my music on Google Drive, and as soon as I get back to where I'm going, I'm listening to my joint. Like, oh, I got to change those snares. Oh, I got to turn that down. Oh, I
and that's a good point you brought up. It's a grind, bro. Like I'm gonna be looking busted sometimes, bro. Like I have bags under my eyes, bro. I'm changing diapers, gotta cook, gotta go grocery shop, gotta go to work, and then I gotta make time for this music. So I drink my coffee, get in the drink, get to work. You know what I mean? I don't care if it's like 10 minutes I spent 10 minutes contributing to this grind.
That's a really good way to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if you would agree with me or not, but I personally feel from my beginning stages of like just recording, because I would record myself before I go to the studio just so I could have all the flows and everything that I needed, right? And I would encourage most artists to do the same thing because like if you're going to a studio, it limits the time that you have to spend because you already know what you want to do when you get there. But then this is the other thing that kind of messed me up. I would get to the studio and hear the finished product from there, and I'd be like, yo, I kind of like the shit I recorded on my own better. Like, so it's like,
oh, that hurts.
Like it was something that I'm trying to remember who said it. It was a producer, but they was like, listen, I don't care who you in the studio with. I don't care if you with Dr. Dre or whatever. If you tell that nigga like, nah, I want to do it this way, you gotta be on them, because they'll try to say, oh no, it sound good or whatever. Then you get that mix back. You in the car and it's just like, nah, that ain't the way I have it. Like, so I became more of like,
well, okay, check this out. When other people come into the studio, I'm the complete opposite. Like This is your song. I'm not going to tell you how to make your song sound. You're going to tell me how you want your song to sound. You know?
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to do it upon request. I don't care if it sounds silly. Like, yeah, make that go like that. I'm like, I'm like, okay, I kind of got what you mean. Then I'll go through different variations and then look at you and verify, like, is this what you was talking about? And if you say yeah, then we're rolling with that. You know what I mean? Because I do understand that part. Like, when you go to another studio and they do it the way they think it should be done, and then you get back to the car or wherever you listen to it, and you're like, nah, that's not what I was intending on doing. But you're on studio time, so you paid for that time. So now you gotta pay for it.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and then they'll be like, oh no, I'm about to do this or that. You're like, all right. And then it was at one point in time the auto-tune it was a pandemic. And I was just like, like, yo, who told it? And like you might not even be paying attention while they mixing, and then they throw the auto tune on the verse, like where it's not, and the whole verse sound. I'm like, yo, who told you to? I got hella emails like, yo, take that shit off, yo.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, nah, I just thought it sounded good. Like, yo, I didn't tell you to do that shit.
When I used to go to other,
come on, bro.
I used to tell them, don't do the auto tune. I'll do it myself.
Yeah. Gotta let them know.
Raw.
All right, yo, and we definitely gonna want to have you back on this platform. You know, we always talk hip hop. It's not always interview based. Sometimes we discuss our top fives. We talk about the current culture, current events, recent events, how the year went. So definitely looking forward to not only having a part 2 to this, where we dig more into the R&B and more into the business side, but we'd love to have you come up on a platform when we have some of these normal conversations about hip hop. Man, I feel like you have a lot to offer. You have a lot to talk about. I feel like there's so much more about you that we could learn too.
Absolutely, I would love to. Please, I would love to be included. Just include me in on it, man.
Yeah, man. We gonna do a lot of work, man. You know, we gonna have to get some music done together as well. We got an album coming out, man.
Oh, yeah, for certain.
If you want to send us a couple beats, you know what I'm saying? I think we can make something happen, brother. I think it'll be a beautiful thing.
I am open for business, though.
All right. And, hey, let the people know one last time where they can reach you. All right.
Mr. Valentine. That's $MI$TER Valentine, just like the holiday. Reach me on any platform. YouTube. You could Google it. Google Mr. Valentine, and everything pops up. Amazon, Pandora. Let's see, Spotify, Deezer, in any music platform that you go. I mean, if you hear one of these songs, you like what you heard, you can Shazam it. I've been Shazam several times, surprisingly. I didn't think Shazam was still a thing.
Yeah.
You know, you can find me on any platform on planet Earth. So, yeah, look me up. And
right.
we have a lot more music coming soon. But there are legalities I have to do first in order to release.
All right. Well, look, man, we definitely looking forward to it, man. We definitely appreciated the conversation. I'm gonna pull you down. We're gonna close out the show. Thank you for your time. And any last thing you want to say, Mike?
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah. All right, brother. Yeah, appreciate you. Yeah, we're gonna tap in. All right, the lag is starting.
Always well. You gotta come up next episode, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll let you know when that's happening. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. That was Mr. Valentine. The track that you heard from him earlier was "In My Way." We are at the hour mark. We are about to close out. This was the first episode
right
of the year. This was that track was fire. Definitely go into the playlist.
That shit gonna get bumped in the whip.
Absolutely.
Turn it on the corner. Ooh.
Absolutely. All right, well, look, man, we about to close out the show. Just end this right here with an instrumental. This is called Finesse. Hold on, Mike, let me know if you can hear this.
Yeah, I hear.
All right. SoundCloud.com/Chaotic Flame, YouTube.com/ Had Nothing Left to Do But Win. This was Keep It On Wax, the Mr. Valentine interview. You guys check him out, man, and me and Mike Morgan will be back next time. All right.
This for the 5 fingers.
We're going to play that clip too next.
Kill it.